Hello and welcome to a live deprogrammed with Keri Smith. If you're here, welcome. I'm sorry I promoted 3 p.m. I know I've been doing them at 3 p.m. For a couple of times, so I got confused. But we're starting. If you find this, maybe you'll be watching this later. We're just going to cover. I've got two special guests here today, and we're going to try and cover three of the key elections coming up on Tuesday. And I'd like to give a special welcome to my guests from The Bullpen, which is the best political show on YouTube. If you want to know about what's happening with elections, you should go hang out with those guys. It's also, I'd say, the best political show because it's politics and also fun. So please welcome. You try to be fun.
That's
Please
the
welcome
only reason why I'm
Brahmabull.
there.
It's for the fun.
Yeah.
I heard you cracking jokes on the last episode. Matt,
That's what he does. That's why
Yeah.
he's a co-host.
So tell people who you are, Matt, since you're speaking up. Welcome.
Well, I am the Brotorious MAD. Mad. I don't do anything serious on my channel, but we do have a lot of fun. We do a lot of we do stories from history. We just did the vampire panic in America, where they kept blaming everybody getting sick on, oh, it's a vampire, let's go dig them up and mess with their bones and stuff. This is a real thing that happened in
I
America
didn't even know
for like
this.
100 years. Yeah. So we cover crazy stories like that and just have fun. And yeah, that's about it.
That's
I'm all
fun.
over the
That's
place.
topical for Halloween. I'm all over the place too. That's the best channels, I think. And we've also got Brahmabull. You guys may know him, recognize him from the Christian panel. What's up, Brahma?
Not much. Just a nice Halloween day. Still at work, so if the phone rings, forgive me. But yeah, we do the bullpen on my channel on Sunday nights, and we've got Matt and Little Chad there, usually comics division as well, and we do just kind of the weekend politics. So come check it out. Could use some more subs.
You guys go check out The Bullpen. It is my favorite political show. I'll just tell you guys, when I was telling my husband about The Bullpen and people that I hang out on there with, and I said, well, there's Brahmabull and Mad and Little Chad, and he's laughing like, Little Chad. What are
Nobody
these
using
names?
their real names.
Yeah, Slender Man.
Yeah. Well, yeah. What's funny is, if you've ever seen Lil Chad on camera, Lil Chad is so far from what he is.
It's true.
Picture someone from New Jersey. That's him. Whoever it is that you pictured, like, oh, that guy's from New Jersey. That's Lil Chad.
Is he Lil?
No,
Lil?
I mean, he's not big, but he's definitely not a Lil Chad. He's like a little Tony.
A little Tony. I get that reference now because I'm finally watching The Sopranos. In preparation for knowing a little more about this race in New Jersey. I'm kidding. It's like, what's happening in New Jersey? I should watch The Sopranos.
How does New Jersey politics work? Let's check in on the mob.
Yeah.
From the early 90s.
Yeah.
So Davina's here. Happy Halloween. It is Halloween. I've got my Lucy. It's not really, I mean, it doesn't look much like Lucy, but it's the best I could pull together at the last minute. So are you guys mad? Are you secretly dressed up behind your avatar?
I always am.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'm dressed up like Jason Voorhees, friend of the channel.
Friend of the channel?
Yeah,
we've had him on every now and then as a special guest.
Funny. Cool.
Very conservative. You would love him. I would
love him.
Oh yeah.
He wants to close the borders.
He's very anti-teen sex.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you guys, let's talk about a couple of these races that are coming up. The big one, obviously, that even if you're nowhere near New York City, the big one that everyone keeps talking about is the New York City mayoral race. And I would bet that even if you're like me and you don't follow politics very closely, you've heard stuff about this one, because there's a Democratic socialist running named Zoran Mamdani, and looks like he is in the lead to win. Zoran Mamdani, and he is running on the Democratic ticket. Even though he's a democratic socialist, he's also been accused of being a communist. He draws a distinction between those two things, although I think that there's the communist is just, that's where it leads eventually, in my opinion,
Every time.
every time. And then we've got Andrew Cuomo, who lost in the Democratic primaries to Mamdani, and so he's running on the ticket as an independent. And then we've got Curtis Sliwa, who is running on the Republican ticket.
Why?
Well, it's interesting that you say why, because let me show you this poll. I brought this up because I wanted to get your opinion on it. Even though I had not been following this election closely until recently, I started paying more attention to it, but I had already heard in the media that Trump and a lot of other Republicans were calling on Sliwa to drop out. They were calling on the Republican candidate to drop out, and they're getting behind Cuomo as the independent and saying, look, he's bad, but he's not as bad as a commie, and you should vote for Cuomo. And Sliwa said, no, I'm not dropping out. And I saw this poll. This is from Victory Polling. And it asked people, if, in a 2-person race, who would you vote for? And Sliwa actually polls better in a 2-person race against Mamdani than Cuomo does. What do you guys make of this?
Well, Cuomo was kicked out in disgrace after all the way he handled COVID, and then he had some allegations made against him. So you've got Mamdani, who nobody seems to like except for the youth and the immigrant population.
Yeah, the revolutionist.
You've got Sliwa, who is the only one who really doesn't have a tainted name in there, because you've got communist, you've got disgraced former Democrat governor, and then you've got the Republican. So it doesn't surprise me that Sliwa would do better in a 2-man race, but I mean, part of the reason for that is Sliwa's people are not going to just automatically vote for Cuomo if he was to drop out, if Sliwa was, because they're Republicans. I mean, ultimately, this comes down to with the party and with people calling on Sliwa to get out. It comes down to the two groups. Do you want New York to just go through this pain to feel it and demonstrate what a socialist looks like in power in the United States? Or do you want to try to help New York dodge this bullet?
Yes.
So they're calling on him to get out to dodge the bullet.
But after I saw this poll where he did better in a 2-person race, I was thinking, why hasn't Trump and everyone else been telling Cuomo to get out? Like, why wouldn't they say? Because it almost seems to me that poll indicates that, like you said, there are a lot of people who are not going to vote for Cuomo because he's associated with disastrous COVID policies, authoritarianism with COVID, and putting COVID patients into nursing homes. And, then of course, all the sexual harassment allegations and having to leave in disgrace, as you said. And so there's a lot of people who are not going to vote for Cuomo. And but there are many who are they're so afraid of Mamdani winning, and they don't think Sliwa has a chance. So if there's 3 people in there, they are going to vote for Cuomo. But if you take Cuomo out, there's no way they're voting for Mamdani. They're forced to vote for the Republican. That's what it looked like to me. So I almost wish we had been focusing our efforts on telling Cuomo to get the F out.
That might have been a better tactic, but then again, you're also dealing with New York City, where people are less likely to vote for a Republican no matter what.
Exactly. And also he has the and this is a real thing, his name Sliwa, it's so so odd sounding that it actually works against him. This is a thing in politics, in elections. If you have a obscure weird name that's hard to pronounce, you're less likely to get votes, even if people agree with you, based solely on them trying to read your name on the ballot.
Yes. Of course, the other guy's Mamdani.
Right. But the difference, though, is that his is being said constantly.
All the time.
Yes.
10 times as much as Sliwa. This is the first time I've heard anyone pronounce his name.
Sliwa.
He's actually been a part of New York City for a very, very long time. He actually was, I believe it was in the 80s or 90s. He was he would go ride the subway with a whole bunch of other people and walk through the subways to try to keep people feeling a little bit more safe in the subway system back when it was a real mess before um, America's mayor got in there and, kind of cleaned up New York for a bit when we had a Republican in. So he's a
Yeah,
name that's known in the city.
he started a group called the Guardian Angels, and so
Yeah.
they were basically like, we're gonna clean up the city because the government's not doing it, and we're gonna protect people on the subways because the government's not doing it.
Yeah. So he's a known entity in the city, just not so much outside of New York.
Yeah. I'm gonna play this little compilation. Oh, and maybe I'm not. It just told me every once in a while my audio goes out and it told me my clips are not. Let's see if you can hear this.
If it's playing, we can't.
No, here it is.
She hasn't shared it yet.
Can you hear that?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay. Well, let's look at this instead, and I'll try to fix my audio. So this is the site that you turn to, this and Polymarket, right, Brahmabull?
Yep. I tend to not go with the polls and go with how people are putting their money down on things, because Polymarket was actually, outside of Rasmussen, they were the most accurate way to look at the actual presidential election. Called almost everything right down the ticket.
So where people are putting their money is maybe a better predictor than what polls
Skin
are
in the
saying.
game. Yeah.
Skin in the game. And so read this for me, someone who is not used to looking at betting sites. What does this mean?
So it's basically saying that Mom Donnie has a 94% chance to win based on how all the wagering's going. So if you wager $100, I think you're getting 94 is the way their actual payout system works. 94 cents on each dollar.
Mm-hmm.
So Cuomo has a 7% chance and Sliwa has a 1% chance. So as far as the betting markets are concerned, all three of these races are already done. We'll see if the betting market's wrong, but the thing is, this is not a presidential election year. It's an off year. So
Right.
I don't know what the betting markets actually do in a off year election because I hadn't paid attention to them outside of the primaries and the election night last year.
They would have to figure in that since it is an off year election, it's only the diehards. It's the people that are really into politics that are going to show up to vote either way.
The thing that could flip this upside down with that is there may be enough people who are scared to death of having a socialist in there. And the other side of Mom Donnie is Islamist.
Is what?
He's an Islamist.
Oh, yes. So can we talk a little bit about his economic policies? Like, what if you were to tell someone what's your biggest reason for opposing him? And let's say this person doesn't pay very much attention, and let's say that they're a Gen Y or Gen Z person who kind of is having a hard time affording things, and they're living in New York and they're strapped for money and their rent is crazy high and they're having trouble affording groceries and also being able to go out and have fun with their friends, because let's be real, a lot of the people who complain about affordability also don't want to sacrifice like leisure money.
Right.
Especially in New York City. So what would you say to them about him? Because he's promising them that he's going to freeze the rent on 200,000 more units, and that he's going to provide government grocery stores and make all public transportation permanently free, like the buses and everything free. So what's your argument against that?
Go for it, Matt. This is what you guys were talking about when I
Oh,
came
I
in.
mean, it's simple. The buses are not going to be safe. That you're going to have homeless people riding it as a home. Think of you're in a RV in a homeless soup, basically, right? That's what it's going to end up being. And it's not as if the buses are free. they will be paid for because the bus driver still got to get paid. The maintenance still has to be done. The buses still have to be bought. Same thing with his free daycare. Either he is going to have to subsidize private daycares to be free. So meaning that the taxpayers will pay that bill for all the kids that are at the daycare, or they would literally have to start daycares, government ran daycares to do this free thing, and all that is going to cost money. All of it costs money.
He's also promised city-run grocery stores. Yeah, creating food lines has always gone well in this country, and having the DMV basically running your groceries also not going to work. And it all has to do with taking money from one group to give it to everybody else.
Right.
And you know what's going to happen is we're already seeing it happen because everybody already believes he's going to be elected. You've got the upper class hightailing it out of New York as fast as they can. The housing market has gone down like 20% in cost because people are trying to sell as quickly as they can to get away, because he's going to raise the taxes on everybody in New York that lives there that makes any kind of decent living. And in New York, you know, getting 2 cups of coffee and a couple bagels is what, $50. So there are a lot of people with money there, and there are a lot of people with money trying to get out now.
So people who he wants to drastically raise taxes on wealthy corporations, people who actually are entrepreneurs, people who provide jobs, and those people are already leaving and will definitely leave if he's elected. This is what I think young leftists or people who kind of like lean left, maybe they don't pay much attention, but they're young and they're like, things suck and nothing's affordable, and this guy's promising that he's going to make it better for little people like me. I don't think you understand that there are going to be less jobs and that things are going to become more expensive and the quality is going to go down as well.
Right. Well, like with the grocery stores, what's going to happen is it's going to run all the other privately owned grocery stores out of business.
Yes.
So you're going to be forced into going to these government run grocery stores, which means that the issue there is that without competition, there's no drive to improve your products or improve your service, because you're getting paid regardless. It doesn't matter what especially if there's no one you're competing with.
Yes.
There's no reason to do anything more than the bare minimum.
Think about the quality of the US Postal Service versus something like UPS, or Amazon, and they don't have, if they're not in it to make profit, because it's not private, and so like it's government run, and they don't have an incentive to produce high quality and to produce something that consumers want, then the quality is not going to remain the same. And that's going to, like you said, it's going to mean that they can offer at the beginning anyway lower prices because they're not interested in making a dollar on it. It's being paid for by taxpayers, right? And so they can offer lower quality, lower prices. People will be going there. The private grocery stores are not going to be able to compete with them and are going to start to go under. And then eventually you've got this government run grocery store system where there are going to be shortages. And then what happens? Prices go up suddenly, way up for bread.
The same thing's going to happen with the free daycare, because if daycare is free, any daycare that is privately owned that charges, how are they going to compete? They're going to be ran out of the market unless they're being subsidized by the government. So I don't know if you want the same people that run the DMV to, like, that same quality of employees and work environment to be watching over your kids. That seems like a bad idea.
Yeah.
And they have no incentive to care about your kids.
None.
It's just the bureaucracy.
Yes, Texas sheep lady, no choices. Exactly.
The free market and capitalism are what drive innovation. and
Yeah.
costs. So you get rid of either of them, and there's no reason for anybody to be doing anything extra.
The example I always go to is Madden. Madden has the exclusive license, and they just got renewed until 2030, by the way, which is horrible news. But in back before 2005, any other companies could make games, right? So 2K made a football game as well. It was a better product, but having that rival company making an NFL game, it raised both games up. But now, and it's been 20 years, and Madden has consistently been a subpar game every year because they're the only game in town. They're the only game that has the license to make an NFL game. And so there's no reason that they need to really improve. They will take out different features that they would have in 1 year, leave it out for a few years, and then bring it back and be like, look at this new feature we have, as if it's never been there before. And it happens every year. So that is what you're going to see happen whenever something is being monopolized, like when there's a monopoly, and whether it's a governmental or in the private sector. That's just what happens.
Thank you for
Anthony,
that.
I've got it up as high as I can get it. I'm not sure what's going on. I'll
You sound
check
fine
some
to me.
settings.
He says Brahma's mic is quiet. Yeah, it sounds good to me, but I can't tell what it sounds like.
Sometimes what we hear back here isn't what's going out.
Got you. Okay, I'm going to try to share this. Let's see.
Glad to see some people in the chat appreciated my Madden.
Are they men? Because as soon as you said football, I zoned out.
Understandable. Yeah, that's totally understandable.
I'm just like, wait, what? Madden? Okay.
Don't forget, we also interrupted your super chats accidentally. So
sorry.
Don't forget to go back to
Oh,
those.
yes. Thank you. I've pulled this up. I'm going to try and play it in this different browser since my sound went out, and tell me if you guys can hear this.
Okay.
I can't. It's not
Doesn't want to
working
play,
at all.
huh?
Okay. Never mind. Let me take that away.
You should just send them all to Matt and let him share them.
What?
Oh, okay. I'll send them to you.
You have the internet.
I'm going to put them in the
I'm
private
still
chat.
at work, so I may have to disappear every now and then.
Fine.
So better that you
Right.
share them.
I put it in the private chat. Yeah, let me thank a couple people. John Thomas for $5. Thanks, John Thomas. He says the 508th anniversary of Martin Luther nailing his 95 thesis on the church door at Wittenberg and started the Reformation. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
it's Reformation Day. Thank you, John Thomas. And then ADL for $4.99 says, why are the Republicans not doing more to support Sliwa? I don't know. That was my question. I think it's because let me tell you what I think, and then you guys can tell me what you think. But I think there's just this built-in idea, this demoralization that's happened in New York City after so many years of Republicans never winning, that they just, even Republicans and conservatives view the Republican Party as kind of a joke there, and they don't think it could win. And they've been completely demoralized. And I think this would have been a good election, though. I think the circumstances were so unique that we could have seen something unexpected, kind of like Trump winning in 2016 was such a shock to the system. I think this could have been a shock to the system if everybody had gotten behind Sliwa. That's maybe, we'll never know, but no.
I don't know. I think the reason why they haven't supported him more is because this has been a foregone conclusion ever since the Democrats he became their nominee. 'Cause it's done, you know. I don't know what it would take for Republicans. I mean, this may be it. If you get a few years under Mamdani. Oh, I said it right. Mamdani. The first time ever. A few years under him, maybe then people were like, you know what? Why don't we try Republican? It can't get any worse. But and I think that some people just have to hit rock bottom, and apparently, as a city, they all, combined have to hit the rock bottom
They're all
before
ready to
they
go over the
ever
cliff.
look at anywhere else.
Yeah, you guys said something interesting on the bullpen the other night, and I forget who said it, but I heard you guys talking about it, and you said it. Somebody said they're almost since it's inevitable, or it seems inevitable that Mamdani's going to win, to view it as a case where we get to see a city go over the cliff and destroy itself, so that on the national scale we can push back against this more effectively, because we'll have New York City as that recent example in the minds of people.
That is going to be the unfortunate side effect of this, I believe. I mean, the last Republican we had there was Rudy Giuliani. And New York City has been a lost cause. Not New York, but New York City has been a lost cause for the GOP for a while. And it's for multiple reasons. It's the way New York City tends to vote. They tend to lean left. And then it's also, you've had so many Republicans leave New York City because of the way New York City gets run. So there aren't Republicans there left to fight for the most part.
Yeah.
So you just don't have the electorate there to do anything to flip the city.
Yeah.
New
A
York
lot of them have gone to
State.
Florida.
Yeah, New York State, different situation. Outside of New York City, the state tends to be very purple, almost leaning red. So
That's in
we still fight in different areas of New York, but New York City gone.
That's the case in most states, though, because the cities, almost all cities tend to be blue. And the further you get out from that city, the more purple, like you said, and then to red. And that's almost across the board.
But not all cities, even while being blue, have the same taxation that New York does.
True.
It's right up there with California. So there's those two combinations make it a little bit more unique than, say, Detroit or Chicago. They may have higher taxes on, generally, but New York has just ridiculous tax rates. So, and it's just a costly place to live.
A lot of people in the chat are pointing out that we already have a cautionary tale, and that's London. Texas Sheep Lady mentioned it. Dr. Michael Jones says, if you want to see what the future of New York City is going to look like, look to London. Sadiq Khan is a Mamdani. Sadiq Khan has taken a wrecking ball to London. Mamdani will weaponize the criminal justice system further.
Yep, but I don't think people will pay attention in this country outside of those who already pay attention until it happens to a U.S. city.
Until it happens to an iconic U.S. city.
Yeah, the financial center of the country for the most part.
Yeah, whose budget is larger than most countries.
The only hope they really have is that normally whenever these revolutionists, these socialists get into power, they still have to act within the boundaries that are by law, right?
Yeah.
And it's honestly, it's just a very cheap and easy way to get in, is if you try to, if you're doing this as far to the outside of the norm as possible, it is why they get turned on so easily by their own people, because they're not enacting all of the things that they were supposed to enact. So I think that hopefully there's enough safeguards there that he won't be able to fully realize his ideas that he wants to do.
Well, from what I understand, he also hasn't even explained how how it's going to work.
Oh, he has no clue how to.
They never do.
He has no clue where the money's coming from, or other than let's raise taxes.
Or how you're going to shut down Rikers Island.
Yeah.
I mean,
I had no idea.
We're just going to free everybody.
I had no idea in 4th grade how I was going to get rid of homework altogether, but I told people that.
Vote for me.
Mad for class president.
No homework. Okay, let's play this. Let's play this video. Yep. Let's see if it works with you playing it. Yes.
Yep.
So this is from the New York Post.
That those measures will be on the ballot and that New Yorkers will be able to cast their votes for them. I know that we desperately need to build more housing in this city, and I also know that the jobs we create in the building of that housing should be good jobs as well.
Political answer. What is your opinion, Zoran?
Yes or no?
Come on.
Yes or no?
What is your opinion? Yes or no, Zoran?
Wait, did I miss the question? What are they yelling at him? Yes or no about?
We did miss the question. They were just showing his answer, but I think they were asking him how is. I can't remember, but it was
can't
How to
something
make
related
housing
to
more
funding.
affordable, I think.
Yeah, something related to the funding.
But
Oh, and also, well, Zoran has a rent controlled apartment himself. Even though he comes from a family with means, like a wealthy family, and so
multi-millionaires.
yeah,
Yes.
multimillionaires, and he's got to rent. And so one of the things I love Silwa, actually, the more that Sliwa, I said it wrong too. The more I watched the debates and the more I watched of Sliwa, I was like, why can't we get behind this guy? I even love his accent. He sounds like he should be on The Sopranos. And he's like, and he's calling him to task because he's sort of like at one point, like, you know, I think they were asking him, is he going to give up his rent controlled apartment and give it to an actual, you know, hardworking, impoverished New Yorker who needs it? That might have been this question.
But if you notice also with Sliwa, he wears that beret so much that he actually has a tan line on his forehead that does not
wears a
help his
beret?
cause during a
He
debate.
wears a red beret everywhere except for it's
Everywhere.
kind of like the beanie with Tim Pool, except for tonight, except on
Yeah.
this debate.
Oh, I was
But
hoping
every
was
time
a-
it shows him up close, you can see the tan line of his beret. And you would think they would have at least done makeup or something.
I was hoping it was going to be a raspberry beret.
It's close.
It's more like a cranberry beret. Cranberry beret.
By the way, I always will look at the sign language. People are like, "Are you faking this?" Because there's been so many that have been caught with no clue what they're doing and they're just making up things. I always watch them.
Pointing out what I was about to answer the question.
No, I think on the stage you can see two people appealing for the Republican Party's votes.
Your
And
answer.
myself.
Answer the question.
Hold on.
Answer the question for once.
My question to you was, do you support
here we go.
the 3 ballot amendment questions?
I have not yet taken a position on those ballot amendments.
It's a little late in the game, isn't it?
It's this election. I'm not even sure what the ballot amendments are that they're. I mean, we've focused so hard on the mayor that
Did they
since
switch?
I don't live in New York, it doesn't matter to
Okay,
me on the
so
ballot
the-
amendments.
The 3 ballot proposals in question would modify the approval process for building new affordable housing projects in New York City. Proposals 2 and 3, if passed, would shorten the review period for affordable housing and quote unquote modest housing projects, removing the New York City Council from the process altogether. Proposal 4 would modify the appeals process. So while the city council can currently override or force through affordable housing proposals, that power would be replaced by a new appeals board made up of the mayor, city council speaker, and borough president of any given borough. So in West Harlem, some officials and housing rights advocates worry that these amendments could destabilize an important system of checks and balances within the city's housing system while strengthening the prominence of big real estate developers in city government.
Okay.
And it was formulated by a charter revision commission that was appointed by Mayor Eric Adams.
Oh boy.
So
Shock.
one of the things, I don't know if it's, I can't remember if it's in this quick little soundbite summary of the debate, but one of the things that Sliwa was talking about is there's already hundreds of thousands of like vacant apartments in New York City. There's all these apartment vacancies and there's all vacant because the board to bring them up to regulation. They can't afford to renovate them. And so his thing is like, I would get rid of a lot of the regulations that are constraining builders. Like he's saying to Mondani, like, you don't have to go out and build like 200,000 new rent-free places where the same thing's going to happen because the landlord's not going to be able to put money into they're not going to see a return on their investment. Instead, we should get rid of some of the regulations, make things easier for builders and for
Renovation.
landlords and for renovations. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm breaking up again.
You did just for a couple seconds.
Okay. Sorry about that. Let's play the rest of it.
All right. What a shocker.
We're gonna
Don't
move
worry,
on.
once he takes it, he'll change it anyway. Since I left, homeless rate has more than doubled. When I left, the vacancy rate on housing was
4.5%. It's now 1%. This man never even proposed a bill on housing or education.
Well, I mean, how could he though? He's never been in the position to where he could propose a bill. I'm just, you know what I mean? That would be like when Trump in the 2016 election, they were like, what bills has Trump ever had pass? What bills has he sponsored? Well, he was never, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to be fair here.
Well, I think he is currently in an office. I'm trying.
Oh, is he? Oh, you know what? I think you may be right.
He's a member of the
I
New
think
York
he's
State
on city
Assembly.
council, isn't he?
Oh, that doesn't count. Does it?
No, he's
You
a
can't
member of
pass
the New
bills
York
as a
State
city
Assembly.
council, can you?
So yeah, he's an assemblyman.
He represents Queens and Astoria.
Yep.
They have the power to do bills, like to.
Yes, and he's never.
Oh, well, never mind. Then he's
Yeah.
he's an asshole. Sorry, my bad. That's
He
what
was
I get for
also a
trying to take
rapper
up
for a
him.
while.
True.
Was he a rapper?
Yeah.
No skill.
He was a rapper because this guy has never had to actually work a job. He came from that much money that he could screw around as a rapper for a while.
Yeah.
After college, and
I'm
try
pretty
to.
sure he rapped in defense of some terrorists at one point.
He has.
It's a good look.
He likes some controversial imams,
True.
and he has rapped about it. So
Yeah. All right. Ready? Do they keep changing the hand? I always want to say hand signals. The sign language people.
No,
I
I
think
think-
it's the same chick. But
Well,
I agree with chat. This is on TV. You have closed captioning. Why
Yeah.
do you need a sign language person?
Yeah.
I
even
agree
if
with
it's-
chat. It's virtue signaling.
Well, now hold on. There may be 3 people who know sign language but can't read.
Sure.
I'm just saying.
Mad being contrarian today.
Bill.
Keep going back and forth between the two of you. Mr. Sleewer, it's your turn.
Andrew, you didn't leave. You fled from being impeached by the Democrats in the state
Wow.
All right, that's fair.
legislature. You fled.
Mr. Cuomo, in 2021, 13 different women who worked in your
Oh, they are
administration
changing the
incredibly
person.
accused you
See?
of sexual harassment. Since then, you have spent more than $20 million in taxpayer funds to defend yourself, all while describing these allegations as entirely political. You have even gone so far as to legally go after these women. One of those women, Charlotte Bennett, is here in the audience this evening.
I hate this crap.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just Jerry Springer
It-
BS
It
To-
really is.
to distract from his disastrous policy proposals. He's like, I have brought this woman here tonight. Like,
By the way, there is nothing wrong for someone to legally go after somebody if they're being defamed. You know what I mean? If they're causing harm by their accusations, like
Sure.
he says it as a negative thing, and you had the audacity of going after them legally. Yeah, because they were lying. What do you, you know what I mean? Well, now I'm taking them for
Yeah, like you're not allowed to present a defense for yourself.
right. Yeah.
You sought to access her private gynecological records.
Wait,
She
what?
cannot speak up for herself because
Well-
you lodged a defamation case.
wait, pause. So why wouldn't he? Because he was being accused by this woman of a crime.
Yes.
And so you would want to know what the evidence is. For example, if I don't know what her specific claims were, but if a person is claiming that you sexually assaulted them and they're saying they have evidence and they went to their doctor and they had this and that, like, of course you want to be able to see the evidence. Really? Did you go to the doctor? Let me see the evidence. But the way we exist in a world where you just hear this soundbite where he makes it sound like something absurd and awful. You sought to access her private gynecological records. Like, yeah, because it's part of the suit.
Also, it feels so dirty defending Cuomo.
It does.
It does. But it's true. Like, that's part of any case. It wouldn't matter who it is. Like, they have a right to access those records if it's part of the lawsuit.
I like how he's attacking him on this, that has not been proven, rather than going after him having thousands of old people die during COVID because he handled that so poorly. Because that one is provable.
I, however, can speak. What do you say to the 13 women that you sexually harassed?
You were all liars. You lied. I mean, what am I supposed to say here? Like, well, now that you ask me, and I'm under oath, I got to say, yeah, they're all telling the truth. What is the purpose of this other than some cheap way of trying to get a win? Sorry.
It is cheap because those charges she actually came to that one in particular, came to some kind of settlement with him and dropped her lawsuit. So whatever this new defamation thing is, I don't know. Maybe it's because she violated terms of their agreement, but he paid her a bunch of money and
there's always an NDA
Yeah.
if there's a settlement like that.
Yeah.
Also, notice the way he worded it too. It's not the 13 women, the accusations or whatever. The 13 women that you sexually harassed, not the 13 women that accused you. They, oh.
If you want to be in government, then you have to be serious and mature. There were allegations of sexual harassment. They were then went to 5 district attorneys, fully litigated for 4 years. The cases were dropped, right? You know that as a fact. So everything you just said was a misstatement, which we're accustomed to from you.
Stated was a misstatement?
Yes, because the cases were dropped.
We first just heard from the Republican candidate for
he's
mayor,
right,
and then we heard
he did a horrible job with the
way
he
he
worded
answered
it.
it.
Yeah. Like, if you're going to be in government, you're going to be serious. No. You don't do that. Get right to the point.
Yeah.
from Donald Trump's puppet
Call
himself.
a lie
Andrew
a lie,
Cuomo.
not a
You
misstatement.
can turn on TV
True.
any day of the week, and you will hear Donald Trump share that his pick for mayor is Andrew Cuomo, and he
That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's like, you know what? I would vote for Andrew Cuomo. Like, oh, look, see, he obviously
It's not that his pick for mayor is Andrew Cuomo. It's that his pick for mayor is anybody but you.
anybody but Mom Dami. But
Yes.
He's banking on. I see this in all these key elections is, they are banking on Trump being something that hurts someone to have Trump support. But I think they're stupid because they still don't understand what happened in the last presidential election and the way the culture has shifted. Having Trump's support, in my opinion, even in New York City, I don't care. Even in New York City, it's not what it once was. It's not what they used to think.
They think it's an albatross around your neck, and
they think it's an albatross. It's not. Especially when we get to the Virginia race and the New Jersey race and stuff, when they talk about, Trump supports you, I'm like, oh, that really? I don't. You've already won me over.
Yeah. You don't have to keep selling me on it.
Yeah.
wants Andrew Cuomo to be the mayor, not because it will be good for New Yorkers, but because it will be good for him.
I didn't want to have to do this, but you understand how this works. You can't talk over each other. Nothing works if you do that. I believe we've heard your response. I wanted to give you a quick word, and then we're going to move on.
I heard the both of them again fighting like kids in the schoolyard. Joran.
Oh boy, you can see that tan line, huh?
Yeah. Plus, his audio is jacked compared to everybody else's. Like, he's got like an echo. Nobody else seems to.
Oh, that's true. I thought
Just
it was
not a good appearance.
Yeah. Oh,
Your resume could fit on a cocktail napkin. And Andrew, your failures could fill a public school library in New York City.
Not
oh, man. I get what he was going for. Should have workshopped it a little bit. His delivery.
I like him. I just wish we lived in I wish we lived in a time where he had a shot, but The betting things are saying what? 1% for him? Put my money on him.
Yeah, 1%.
So any other thoughts about New York? I think it's just a foregone conclusion.
Well, I think it's a foregone conclusion. Yes, we're not going to see either of them drop out.
No.
So Mom Donnie's going to get it, and like most socialists, I mean, all he has done is essentially told lies on how he's going to do things when he has explained anything.
He's never said how he's going to do things. Just he said what he's going to do without any of the work. You know, it's turning in your algebra homework in high school without any of the without showing any of the work. You're just like, oh, that equals 2. How did you get there? I got there. It's 2.
And really, the other side of this that we didn't hit on enough is the comparison to London is also the Islamist side of it. And Mom Donnie is an Islamist as well as a socialist. So you've got the same factors that are happening in London, or that's what he's bringing. It's what we've also seen in Minnesota, in Dearborn, in multiple places. You know, you've got the rise of Islam in multiple cities across this country, and it's not compatible with Western ideals.
He just put out kind of a tearful video that was meant to pull on your heartstrings, and it was about Islamophobia. It was about Islamophobia in New York City. You think about all the problems that are affecting New Yorkers: affordability, rent's too high, the groceries are too high, you've got crime. It's not a safe place to be. And he did this video about how there's so much Islamophobia, and he remembers, after 9/11, how his aunt stopped taking the subway because it was too dangerous for her and her hijab.
Who is not his aunt.
Well, when he says aunt, what he means is his father's sister.
His great
no,
aunt.
that
would be
his
aunt.
father's cousin.
Father's cousin.
Father's cousin.
Yeah.
His father's sister would be his aunt.
But when flat out called out on it, he still lied.
He's like, well, I always referred to her as my aunt. See, like one of those.
That does not make her an aunt.
No. That is the Islamic equivalent to Big Mama.
Yeah.
He's also said, I mean, I should bring this up about his stance on the police. He's said, very commie, woke, democratic, socialist things, right? When it was really popular during the Summer of Love and, in 2020, he did a lot of tweets talking about how he wants to defund the police.
Mm-hmm.
He said, defund this rogue agency. He said about the NYPD. He described the NYPD as racist. He called the police in New York racist, anti-queer. He's always talking about queer. They're anti-queer and a major threat to public safety. Okay, so now that he's running to be mayor, he's changed his stance magically overnight. And he says he apologizes for those comments and that he shouldn't have said those things.
Yeah, at the time he didn't realize that he would be in a position to where he would regret those comments. So now he regrets those comments.
Meanwhile, I don't know if you saw, but DeSantis basically put out a call to all New York City cops saying, yeah, if you want a job down here, we'll give you a $5,000 signing bonus to come work in any of our agencies.
Why would you stay after this guy wins and you know what he thinks of you if you're a police officer? You're trash, you're racist, you're rogue, you need to be defunded. He's such a liar. He actually he's such a liar. His position has not changed on the police. And I'll tell you how I know. As a person who's had their opinions changed on a lot of things, it's a slow process. It's not overnight. And if somebody asks you, like he's been asked in multiple debates, why did your opinion change? You're able to speak easily and organically about what led you to change your beliefs over time. It comes naturally to you because it's real.
Because it's actually the steps that led me to this. Yeah.
Yes. Here's what I started thinking about. Here's what I saw. This made me think about this. There's nothing. He just magically overnight is like, oh, I don't believe that anymore. Oh, why? Why?
Yeah. Because I'm running for office now.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about the free buses?
And the grocery stores.
Our buses are going to be super fast. You've never seen bus as fast as these. Wait,
They're going to be the greatest buses.
So let's talk about New Jersey and who we've got there. Wait, let me go to your Cashy site. Is it Calshi?
Calshi, yeah. You're trying to get that sponsorship too.
Cashy makes more sense.
I better learn how to say it if I want to.
Right.
No, I think it should be Cashy because it's betting. So cash, like Cashy makes sense.
That does make sense.
Yep. That's free. You don't have to sponsor me. I gave that one to you free, Calshi.
Looks like we're getting a raid from Nina.
Oh, Nina Infinity. Hello. Thank you, Nina. Thanks for joining us. I love that lady. Okay. So this is what this is what the betting market says. You've got Democrat Mickey Sherrill, who's running against Republican Jack Ciattarelli. And Mickey Sherrill she's got a military background. She's a mom. And she checks a lot of boxes for it that usually Democrats don't check, including being a woman with the military background. And but there's something fundamentally just unappealing about her when you listen to her talk. Would you guys agree?
Yeah. Well,
I don't
especially
think I've
some of the
heard her
things she's
speak.
saying. The last thing that I heard her say was that she was for shoving LGBTQ crap into the schools and the not giving the parents an option for any opt-out because kids have to learn about every other kind of people that there are. So that may be enough that it turns people against her. As we've seen the trans movement kind of start to fall apart a little bit and sentiment shifting. But the betting market absolutely says Cheryl's going to win. The polling, however, doesn't show it as clear. It's only about a 6-point difference in the polling, I think.
The polling shows that it's closer.
Yeah.
Here,
the one that was part of the cheating scandal at Annapolis. Now I know who
Annapolis,
yeah. Yeah, whatever it's called. I wasn't Navy, I was Army.
And to Mad's point on names, Ciattarelli is also not an easy name.
Yeah.
But I'm sending you a link, a video to pull up, Mad, if you don't mind. John Bertram says, just a thank you, Keri. Thank you, John. And good luck. Also, Kevin Anderson gifted some memberships. Thank you, Kevin. He gifted 10 memberships. Okay, so if you guys don't know about the cheating scandal they're talking about, Mickey Sherrill, there were some records that were recently released as a result of a Freedom of Information Act request that showed that she did not get to walk. She faced some kind of military discipline and did not walk with her graduating class as it related to a scandal, a cheating scandal that was happening at the time. The Ciattarelli campaign has been asking for her to be transparent and to turn over all of her military records so they know what she was disciplined for and what was her involvement in the cheating scandal. And as far as I've seen, she's refused to do so and said that she has said that she didn't cheat, but she refused to be disloyal and turn over her classmates who were involved. And that was the extent.
Then there shouldn't have been anything to hide.
That's true, right? Like, why wouldn't you open it up and show that that's the truth?
Because it's already come out that there was cheating, so now she has nothing to be loyal to. She could just come out and say, see, I've got nothing here.
Yeah.
But she didn't.
Okay, so we're going to watch a little, this is a summary of the final debate between these two.
Sunday night as Republican Jack Ciattarelli and Democrat
I hope
Mikey
they have
Sherrill met for their
sign
first
language because
debate,
there's no closed
sparring
captioning on
over
this
a
one.
wide range of issues from taxes and energy costs to immigration and education. In a tense town hall style event at Rider University with hundreds of voters in the audience, giving residents a clearer look at where
isn't a
each
good idea.
candidate stands in the closely watched contest. It's drawing sharp lines and
causing
strong
seizures.
emotions. Senior correspondent Joanna Gagis has a closer look at the highlights and what they mean for voters.
Last night, the two primary candidates for governor in New Jersey, Democratic Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill and Republican former state assemblyman Jack Ciattarelli.
I know this is important, but I do not like her not jumpsuit, her business suit or whatever, like that powder blue. It's not. Maybe that's just me.
Squared off in a town hall debate, the first of this electoral season. Both kept their focus on affordability.
It looks what?
I'm going to be
I
fiscally
don't
responsible.
know. I immediately thought of Hillary Clinton in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just tired of women in pantsuits in general.
Yeah, pantsuit. That's what I was looking for. It looks antiquated. Like it doesn't look like it fits in this current year.
Looks Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah. It looks like her grandmother. She's like, "Oh no, my normal pantsuit is in the dry cleaners. What do I wear?" And her grandmother gave her this one.
It's your money. I'm going to drive down your cost at every level, and I'm going to make sure your kids have great opportunities here in the state of New Jersey.
Make all retirement income tax free the way it is in Pennsylvania, number one. Freeze your property taxes for life once you hit age 70. Allow seniors to deduct 100% of their property taxes on their New Jersey tax returns.
The debate got spirited quickly when the candidates were asked whether they'd commit to not raising the sales tax, an issue that's permeated the campaign trail lately.
We are not raising the sales tax here in New Jersey. What we need to do is lower the income tax and the property tax here in New Jersey. Those are the most burdensome taxes we pay. It took us 238 years to get the $36 billion budget. In 8 years, we went
I think I
from
started
36
something about the
billion to
pantsuit.
$59 billion. Can anybody tell me their life is better off than it was 8 years ago? Has anything gotten better?
I can see why your career as a CPA was so short-lived, because your math just doesn't add up, Jack. So that's why, as we look at a $5 billion hole that we're facing from the federal government, as we're working hard to make sure that we're paying into pensions, at least one of us, to make sure that people have the hard-earned dollars that they've earned over time, as we're working to make sure that we have the best public school system in the nation, I'm not going to commit to anything right now, because I'm not just going to tell you what you want to hear. Now, Jack raises sales tax all the time.
Is he a Democrat
and yet tonight
too?
he said this because, like we know, he'll tell you whatever you want to hear.
So if any of you think I'm going to raise your sales tax to 10%, I got a bridge I want to sell you for about 50 cents. She knows it's a lie. They're trying to exploit you. They're trying to manipulate you. She knows she's in trouble in this campaign, so this campaign is going to lie to you over and over again.
They shared plans for how they'll try to drive down rising energy.
By the way, he looks New Jerseyan to me. You know what I mean? When I see him, I'm like, that's New Jersey. When I see her, where is she from? Connecticut? What is she doing here in New Jersey? That's just me.
Costs, how to improve educational outcomes for students, and whether they'd support the vaccine schedule recommended by healthcare experts. Both said yes to the vaccines. When asked whether they'd continue the Immigrant Trust Directive that limits how New Jersey state and local police assist federal officers in detention arrests.
Executive order number 1 on day 1, we're getting rid of the Immigrant Trust Directive here in New Jersey. I believe the Immigrant Trust Directive, us having sanctuary cities, us being a sanctuary state, only encourages illegal immigration and restricts our local law enforcement in a number of different ways.
I've prosecuted people who were criminals here and who are undocumented, and they were deported because I care deeply about public safety for the people here, and I think we can all agree that violent criminals should be deported. But what I also believe deeply in is due process, the due process rights that are in our Constitution.
Yeah, but sanctuary state is not due process. I love how they just evade the question. The question is, are you going to continue to support like sanctuary state policies? And she's like, I have prosecuted some illegal immigrants, but I believe they deserve a fair trial.
Only when they committed violent crimes.
Right. Right. So she just sidesteps it. So the answer is no, she's not going to get rid of sanctuary state status.
And she's also been in Congress. So when she's talking about the high prices of everything, she was voting for the Inflation Reduction Act. That was not an Inflation Reduction Act. She voted for that. She stood lockstep with Biden and Harris on every single vote.
Nation considered to be a referendum on President Trump, the candidates took turns framing the administration's actions to their benefit.
He's beating up on the New York Democrats over their congestion pricing plan, which I think is an egregious money grab. We shouldn't be paying for their subway system. He's also quadrupled the SALT deduction on our federal tax returns. The big, beautiful bill also doubled the child care tax credit for those with young children. It also doesn't tax tips, overtime, and Social Security. It provides a magnificent tax credit for those that send their kids to private school. I want you to think about those four things. They're good for all New Jersey.
I like this guy.
She voted no, my opponent did, on that bill.
I'm sure he would like you to focus on
he's
those
a New
four
Jersey
things.
Republican that isn't a rhino.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's no Chris Christie. Yeah.
Yeah, but Chris Christie was a Cowboys fan. So, like, there's a part of me that, yeah, but he has good taste in football.
So the guy who's stepping down, Murphy, because he's term limited, that's the reason there's the open seat here. Chitterelli took him to 2% in the last governor's election. And that was supposed to be a double-digit blowout. So the fact that this race has gotten as tight as it is says that there is a very good chance that Chitterelli could actually take this race, regardless of what polls say. Because remember, we've got some weird stuff going on in this election with some of the scandals that have been dropped in the last month. Not necessarily so much in New Jersey as Virginia. But with her scandals and her belief in the trans movement and Chitterelli being a true conservative for the most part, and the fact that property taxes, I think in New Jersey, property taxes are the highest that they are in the country. So
yes, they are.
It's very much the Dems have run that state into the ground and made it unaffordable. Very much like New York, a lot of people are just fleeing because of costs, and it's all government costs.
The other thing in New Jersey that they keep talking about in these debates is one of the biggest complaints from homeowners, from people who live in New Jersey, is that the energy costs are too high. They're skyrocketing. And he's the only one that I think has offered a concrete plan on what he's going to do differently. And the first thing he would do is get them out of RGGI. RGGI is the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative. Yeah. And he said, you know, we started doing this in 2005 to limit greenhouse gases. We added all these regulations and all this money, and this carbon tax initiative, he said, it's totally failed. It hasn't worked anyway. The air is no cleaner. We're not seeing any results. It's been 20 years. Electricity is more expensive, and we're pulling out of RGGI. We're pulling out of this environmental leftist thing, which she won't commit to. He says they can save $500 million per year if they do that.
Yeah.
She reminds me a lot of Kamala. She's
yes.
Like a white mullah, like a white-ula. There's something there.
There's nothing there.
and just to your point, Brahma Running Bear in the chat agrees. He says the last gubernatorial race in New Jersey was won by only 2%, which shocked the Dems. Polls are even closer this time around.
Yeah,
voted for Jack this week.
Good. Now get 10 more people to go vote for him.
Focus on this tariff plan, which is putting small businesses out of business and freezing hiring from our large businesses. He doesn't want you to focus on the employment numbers or the fact that the deficit has gone up by $70 billion in the year Trump's been in office. He doesn't want you to focus on the one big beautiful bill, which is going to raise families' utility costs by hundreds of dollars, which is going to imperil the health care of 1 in 3 children.
The candidates will face off one more time in October, although Chitterelli said he's willing to add another debate. For NJ Spotlight News, I'm Joanna Gagis.
Are there any normal names in New Jersey? Gagis?
Gagis.
So what she says she would do about the rising energy prices is that she would declare a state of emergency. And
yes, government is there's the answer. More
what is it?
government answers.
More government answers. Yeah.
More government is the answer in her opinion, always.
So don't pull out of Reggie, but declare a state of emergency. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Declaring a state of emergency is going to fix it.
Well, then the government would be able to freeze energy rates, which is another kind of Mamdani thing. Like, let's freeze rates. Let's use the government. Let's create a more unstable system.
Let's transfer some wealth.
She also plans to invest heavily in solar projects, especially on state properties.
Ugh. New Jersey doesn't have enough space for that. You know how much space those solar panels take up
to generate enough energy to do anything?
To be relevant? Yeah. It's horrible. It's ugly. Also, what is it that you have me looking at over here?
Oh, we're just looking at some of her supporters. This is from during Pride this year. They were asked, these are some of I kept calling her Mickey. I guess her name's pronounced Mikey. Mikey Sherrill. These are some of her supporters. Let's hear what they have to say.
Okay.
You out here supporting Mikey Sherrill? I'm supporting Mikey Sherrill because we need somebody who can definitely beat whoever is on the Republican side, and she is the one to do it. I support Mikey.
That is such horrible reasoning. Never
vote blue no matter who.
Never should you be like, oh, I'm voting for this person because I don't like the other person. Well, not that person specifically, but his people that he comes from. What? Give me one thing that you're voting for, not against. That's it. That's all I ask. One thing. I'm going to press play.
Okay.
Because I followed her career and she's true to her word. She's the real deal. Because she supports me.
I guess at least it was for her, not against somebody.
She's a mom and she's for the queer community.
What?
That's it. And that's what we need in this state.
You know who also was a mom? I don't remember her name, but there was like 6 babies that she unalived in the tub. She was a mom. I'm just saying that's not
Andrea Yates.
Maybe. The point is, oh well, she's a mom. That's not enough.
We need a governor who actually is in touch.
She stands up for what's right for not just New Jersey, but the United States.
Like what?
I'm supporting Mikey Sherrill because it's about time we had a woman being the voice for New Jersey.
Even if it's a garbage woman.
For New Jersey.
So these people are liars, first of all, because they do not, they lie. We know the woke lie about everything, but they lie about their own rules and their own beliefs. So they always say, we're supporting this person because of their race or their sex, and that's what you should do. Well, that's not true, because if it's a conservative woman, they do not support her. If it's a conservative Black person, they do not support them, which the next state we're going to look at is Virginia, and you can see you've got a Black woman running on the Republican ticket, and they're doing everything they can to trash her. They're not voting for her. They're not saying it's time we have a woman. They're not saying it's time we have a Black person. They're actually saying that she shouldn't be allowed to use the same water fountains as them. That's what the Democrats are saying. That's true. That's something they said. We'll get to that in a second. Yeah, but they're liars. This whole thing here about they said, well, I won't make people wait for it. They said that because Winsome Sears in Virginia, again, we're talking about a different state here just for a second. It's a Black woman, conservative, who's running and an immigrant. She doesn't believe that men should be able to go into the little girls' room, into changing rooms with girls, and that men should use the men's room. And so the Democrats, someone on Mikey Sherrill's campaign, they had joked about how it's no different than saying that Winsome Sears shouldn't be able to use their whites-only water fountain.
I did hear that.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then signs started showing up at protests also saying that.
Yeah. They made it part of their campaign, basically, unofficially. But yeah, I want to hear more of these idiots.
Okay, yeah, because this is very triggering for me for some reason.
All right, you keep pausing. You're so triggered.
Her beliefs, her passion.
Name one.
She is just
It's Rosie
the real
O'Donnell.
deal, and she's going to turn us around. Keep fighting for us. We want to be able to get married.
You can get married.
And stay married, they say.
I'm sorry. Does New Jersey break you up if like, oh, they're lesbians, they can't be married anymore? There's a 3-year limit.
No, it's just the left doing their push, saying that the right is going to get rid of Obergefell because they got rid of Roe versus Wade.
Why are you out here supporting Mikey?
No.
So it's the typical what you would expect from, that's who I would expect would be supporting her.
I who was that video from the left, or was it somebody on the right? Because there had to be one person that they interviewed that said, well, the reason why I'm voting for her is because her plan is to implement this, you know what I mean? This thing, or to undo this, or some type of policy.
They probably weren't interviewing a whole bunch of Republicans at a Pride event.
But I'm done.
You're done.
We've made mad.
That doesn't happen often. I don't know why that bothered me so much. It's just so low effort.
You should come do some man on the street stuff. I want to do some man on the street stuff at these protests. What?
We can just be the muscle. We'll let
let
Keri do the interviews.
Yeah, you could just carry the camera. I'm gonna dress in my handmaid's outfit.
Oh, nice.
Yes, that won't trigger them.
Oh, you've read one of the only 2 books I've read.
They haven't read it. They haven't read it.
Oh,
They have no idea. Yeah.
Yeah, but they watched the Hulu though.
I'm sure.
They have watched the Hulu. Yeah, which after season 1, it wasn't based on the book at all, really. It's just a fever dream from woke screenwriters. Okay, let's move on to... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Chitterelli does have a chance there. So anybody in Jersey, get out there and vote for him. This one, that's one that could be an upset that we see on Tuesday night.
And like you said earlier, if you've already voted, if you're the core voter, you've done early voting, see who you can get. Even if you have to, rally your friends and family, maybe they're like, he doesn't have a shot. I would vote for him, but it doesn't, give them that extra motivation and that incentive, like help get your friends to the polls.
If you're in New Jersey, just go grab every Tony that you know. That's going to be like 20 and take them to the poll. Like, hey, Tony, come with me over to the poll.
So
yeah, and Dr. Jones brings up a good point. Pressler has been doing the work up there too.
That's great.
And he delivered Pennsylvania for Trump. So this one, even though the betting markets, like I was saying, tend to be right from what we've seen in past elections, there's still a chance. I mean, it still has to be actually voted on, just like betting on sports. You still got to play the game. I just think New York's gone.
Oh yeah,
no matter what.
Yeah, but we have a shot in New Jersey, and
and Virginia,
and we have a shot in Virginia. Even though here's that betting site you like, Kalshi.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, they have Abigail Spanberger at 96% odds and Winsome Earl Sears at 5%.
And I think the actual polling last I saw, actually, I don't have the polling on that one, so I can't bring that up. I'll go look.
So, if you guys don't know, Winsome Sears is, as I mentioned, she's a Black woman. She's a Marine. She served in the Marine Corps. She is an immigrant from Jamaica. I believe it's Jamaica. Yes, born in Jamaica. She has served as Virginia's first female lieutenant governor.
Right. Yeah, I remember her.
She is currently the lieutenant governor.
She's currently the lieutenant governor. She works closely with the governor, and she, of course, this is something that if she were a Democrat, you wouldn't hear the end of it from leftists. They'd be like, if she were Kamala, if Kamala had her bio, you wouldn't hear the end of it. Like,
There's a special place in hell for women who don't support Hillary.
right. What did Obama say to black men? Remember when Obama went and lectured black men and told them it was their responsibility to vote for a woman of color?
Now, you guys got to understand that you got to stay with the team. You got to cast a vote for Kamala. I mean, sure, she's Indian, and you're black, but she's identifying as black for this race. So,
for the purposes of this race,
she was our first Indian female senator, but she's black for this race.
Did you not see her talking about eating collard greens, which she did for the purposes of this race?
Did you see her hot sauce in her purse?
Did you not see?
One of us.
He has not come out and said anything like that about voting for Winsome Sears. I wonder why that is. Nothing.
Yep. So the polling is about 8 to 10 points in favor of Spanberger. The turnout in this one is going to be the interesting thing. Because right now, according to my bullpen co-host, Little Chad, the early voting is actually way ahead for the Republicans, but from where it was last election. So there has been a lot of turnout. You also have the stuff for, with Jay Jones and his situation, all of his scandals that have been popping off
what happened?
in the AG race.
The Attorney General race. Can you explain that for anybody who may not be familiar?
Yeah, so Jay Jones is running for Attorney General, the highest law enforcement seat in the state. And he had some text where he had actually called for the death of a Republican congressman, I believe, and the death of his children, and that he wanted it to happen with their mother holding them, and then he wanted to piss on their graves. So
he's talking about little kids. And when the person he was texting said, Jay, please stop, he elaborated and said that they're raising little fascists and that sometimes people have to feel pain in order to change their abhorrent beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And he's also currently under investigation for skirting the community service arrangement that he has for a reckless driving conviction. He basically turned in his community service hours of him working for his own campaign.
Yeah.
And said that was community service. So he's in trouble on that one. Keep in mind, top law enforcement official in the state is what he's running for. And his wife also proudly announced on Twitter back in 2020, 2021, during the Summer of Love, how much they were donating to the Minnesota Freedom Fund, which was the fund set up to bail out the rioters during the Summer of Love. So he's got a few things that have some people against him. He's actually projected, I believe, to lose that election, which kind of helps Sears, because there are enough people who do not want to vote for Jay Jones that they may just not show up. We don't know. So turnout's going to be huge in this one.
That one is, I just sent you a video, Matt, of some of the debate. They only had one debate, and there's some highlights from it. As you mentioned, the Democrats will not do the most basic, easiest, lowest bar that you could achieve on being a decent person. They will not ask him to pull out of the race, and of course, he's not pulling out of the race. This is Jay Jones, as running for Attorney General. He sent all these disgusting, violent, extremist texts about killing a Republican and his little kids, and got very graphic, as you mentioned, and still Spanberger will not withdraw her endorsement of him, which I think is possibly could hurt her. Now, I watched the full debate. We're just going to look at some highlights. This one was actually really hard to watch, and I'll tell you why. As much as I love her and I want her to win, I think she's great with policy. I think she's got a great story. I like her character, her attitude. Winsome Sears, I want her to win, but it was really hard to watch because she interrupted so much. Did you guys watch this one?
Nope, I haven't. I've seen a couple clips, but
The whole debate is like that. Even at the end, I actually had to laugh at the end because they kept telling her we cannot hear, and so they had to give more time to Spanberger because Winsome Sears wouldn't shut up, and they had to give her more time on each question. I'm like, you're actually helping her, and you're making yourself look really annoying. Like maybe just reduce the interruptions by half, but she couldn't. And even at the end, when she's still talking like about the woman as they're doing the sign-offs, I was dying laughing. So that made it hard to watch, but
it's kind of like the first Trump-Biden debate.
I was thinking the same thing.
And then Trump didn't do it in the last election, and look how well that went. Biden got proved out and pushed out.
Yeah, because it's annoying to see that. So
yeah,
we're going to watch a couple of highlights. Now, she did hold her feet to the fire. Winsome Sears did hold Spanberger's feet to the fire, though, in a couple things. One, Spanberger equivocates and will not be clear about her stance on allowing men in the little girls' room, in school bathrooms, in girls' school locker rooms. She will not clarify her stance on that. She evades. She won't answer because we know her stance on that. She's cool with it. She's cool with men being in the little girls' room, but she knows it would hurt her to say that, so she just equivocates. And Winsome would not let her do that. The other thing is that, Winsome had held her feet to the fire about not having the moral courage to say that those text messages that Jay Jones sent were enough to cause her to withdraw her endorsement. So I just don't like the way Spanberger, a lot of politicians do this, but she just dances around everything and she evades. I would much rather you just come out and tell me your abhorrent views, but don't pretend like you don't hold them. And that's what she refuses to answer the question like so many times. Let's play this one.
Only debate in Virginia's governor's race. It took place in Norfolk and aired right here on DC News Now. The two candidates, Abigail Spanberger and Winsome Earl Sears, were asked about affordability, LGBTQ rights, and the text message scandal involving Attorney General candidate Jay Jones.
Better.
Joining us from Norfolk to talk more about last night's debate is the Hill's political reporter Julia Manchester. Julia, you were at the debate. What was the mood like? Because this thing got heated quickly.
Yeah, good morning, Corey and Judy. It was very heated, and we were actually right in the debate hall, and I would say that tense was the word to describe the evening. I mean, right out of the gate, Winsome Earl Sears was asked about the car tax in Virginia, obviously a very kitchen table issue that many voters here in the state care about. But then she used the opportunity to attack Abigail Spanberger over the Jay Jones texting scandal, and even asked Abigail Spanberger in that first answer to her question.
How did she get to that?
Wait, let me tell you. She goes, they're like, what would you do about the car tax? And she's like, what I would like to ask my opponent.
That's insane. Like, I'm guessing in my head, I'm like, wait, you were asked about the car tax. You're like, well, what about Jay? Like, what?
And
That's
they were
not even
like,
how a whataboutism works.
And they said, Miss Winsome Sears, we have questions about that. We'll get to them. And she's like, I would just like to know.
It makes me like her more, but I'm just saying, but that's not.
Would she denounce Jay Jones? And that pattern of Earl Sears interrupting Spanberger and, kind of trying to shout her down continued throughout the debate on a number of different issues. And it wasn't only the Jay Jones texting scandal that took center stage last night, guys. We heard about the government shutdown, LGBTQ rights, the trans issue in public schools, those kitchen table issues that impact Virginians every day. So a lot of ground covered in that 1 hour, but certainly very tense in this first and only gubernatorial debate.
And we actually have a look, I think, of Spanberger being interrupted, as you mentioned, Julia, by Winsome Earl Sears repeatedly. We were saying earlier that it was almost like an Olympic medal in interrupting. Let's take a listen.
My opponent, unfortunately, only denounces violence when her side is the target. I hope
like that,
into
Abigail.
the future she will
That
endeavor
feels justified
to
for
denounce
her to
violent
jump in.
rhetoric and violence, no matter who the victim. And
Direct attack.
tonight, Lieutenant Governor
Are you
Earl
just
Sears,
denouncing
I
it,
will
or are you
say
going- he-
you routinely
Miss-
refer to me
Miss Earl
as your
Sears, Miss Earl
enemy.
Sears, just please
You
give her a chance to
routinely
respond.
refer to me as your enemy. I'm not your enemy. You are not my enemy. We are political opponents.
A lot of work for the moderators during that debate. Julia, did this seem to be
Hold on, that wasn't as bad as what I was expecting.
No, but imagine that throughout the whole thing, even when she wasn't mentioning Winsome Sears in her answer, and you really couldn't even hear her answer because she would start to answer like, "What do you think of the car tax?" And Spanberger would be like, "Well, I think," and Winsome Sears is like, "You know that blah 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 blah," and I'm like, they had to tell her like, Miss Winsome Sears, you have to be quiet so she can answer first. Like,
But that's how much she loves her state, though. You can't hold that against her that she loves her state so much.
Yes, she was, John. She was also debating the moderators. She was just like talking the whole time. And I really am like, look, I can handle a sprinkling of that. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a pretty aggressive, but it got to the point where I, someone who does not, I abhor Spanberger and her policies, but I couldn't even hear what she was saying. And I'm like, I want to be able to at least hear her so I know. Anyway.
strategy on Earl Sears' part?
Yeah, certainly a lot of work for them. Yeah, I think this was the strategy to come in there essentially, on fire and, willing to go on offense on Abigail Spanberger. Remember, guys, throughout this entire election, we have seen Winsome Earl Sears trailing Abigail Spanberger anywhere from 6 to 10 points. I believe the Hills Decision Desk HQ average shows Earl Sears behind Spanberger by about 7 points. So it's been a struggle for Earl Sears' campaign. However, this texting scandal for Jay Jones has given
I don't like the jacket with her
not only
complexion.
for Earl Sears, but for Virginia Republicans across the board. And I think what you saw last night was Earl Sears really trying to take that opportunity to hit Abigail Spanberger with that scandal. However, Abigail Spanberger did not necessarily come empty-handed. She had her own attacks for Winsome Earl Sears. In fact, just less than an hour before the debate, her campaign launched an ad hitting Earl Sears over recently unearthed comments from 2022 in which Earl Sears equated abortion to murder. And that was
Where's the lie?
Yeah, right. It is murder. I mean, it's a killing of a human being. Now it's not legally classified as murder under our law, but it's the killing of a human being.
To that issue of abortion access in Virginia took center stage on the debate stage last night. So a lot of ground covered.
Julia, you mentioned the fact that Winsome Earl Sears was constantly interjecting and interrupting Abigail Spanberger. I also found it interesting that she was calling Miss Spanberger by her first name, constantly referring to her as Abigail. In terms of the Jay Jones text controversy, I thought one of the more interesting moments of the night was when Winsome Earl Sears asked Abigail Spanberger about the issue, but from the standpoint of her being a mom, basically saying, is it going to take somebody pulling the trigger for you to condemn these messages outright? What did you make of that moment?
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting point because we've actually seen Abigail Spanberger in.
We can stop that. I sent you another one that's like a little section where they're debating the trans issue. And I think this is a good illustration of what I mean about Spanberger being a liar, like being evasive. And if you were a leftist, like, wouldn't you prefer she just come out and full-throatedly support what it is that you support as a leftist? But she won't do that. Aren't you insulted that she dances around it and won't be clear? And I really did like the ways when Winsome Sears held her feet to the fire on this one.
Leftists are required to move to the center in order to be elected.
Yes.
They cannot say their actual thoughts because nobody would elect them.
You will both have a chance for a rebuttal. Ms. Spanberger, we're going to start with you.
That seemed very
Focusing on a
poignant.
K-12 school system, should transgender girls who are biological males be allowed to use girls' bathrooms and play on girls' sports teams? You have 60 seconds.
I'm a mother of 3 daughters in Virginia public schools, and nothing is more important to me than their safety and their experience in schools. I'm also a former federal agent, and I work to investigate crimes against children. And so nothing is more important to me than the safety of all of our children. And that work, in part, has earned me the endorsement of Virginia's Police Benevolent Association.
Ms. Earl Sears, Ms.
Importantly,
Spanberger is talking. Please.
Yeah. Well, look, I understand why, because even I was like, just get to it. What do you?
Yeah.
You're saying things that no one's questioning. No one was sitting here like, I wonder if she likes her kids.
Right.
It's like
I hope
Green
she, I hope she
Jean-Pierre
addresses
on her book tour. Every single answer is, well, as a queer black woman.
It's just I wonder if she's going to address like if her daughters are in school and how she feels about their safety. No one's questioning that. That's not the sorry.
Let her
on
finish.
issues related to what's happening in our schools and each individual community, I think it's important that we have parents and teachers and administrators making decisions about their individual schools, not politicians.
Oh, boy.
And if we are talking about the safety of our children, I would ask why my opponent continues to support efforts to defund public safety, an effort carried on continually by this
Ms. Spanberger,
administration.
once again, the question was, should transgender girls who are biological males be allowed to use girls' bathrooms and play on girls' sports teams in K through 12?
It's a yes
You
or
have
no
15
question.
seconds to clarify.
In cases across Virginia,
Oh,
I
boy.
think it's incumbent upon parents and educators and administrators in each local community to make decisions locally.
That's what this is about.
Ms. Earl Sears?
There should never be
We're gonna get
nude
to you in a
men
moment.
Oh
in
my
locker
goodness,
rooms.
we finally have her saying that, but you voted for that.
Ms. Earl
Have you
Sears.
finally
I want to move to
Are you
Virginia to
doing
vote
it
for
now?
her.
Are you
Ms.
going
Earl
to
Sears,
tell?
this is Ms. Spanberger's time. I have a follow-up question for Ms. Spanberger. Would you rescind the Youngkin administration policy requiring boys and girls to use bathrooms aligning with their biological sex? You have 30 seconds.
My priority would be
Oh.
to ensure that local communities, importantly parents and teachers
That's
and
a yes or
educators, are able to work together to meet the unique needs of each school and each community.
girls
And
need
that is
privacy.
important, and I say that as a mother of 3 daughters in Virginia public schools.
Exactly.
Let me
and as
hold up the
someone
shield
who
of my
used to
kids.
investigate crimes against children. The way that we keep our children safe is by ensuring they are safe in schools, which includes funding.
The way we
Keep our
ensure
children safe
is
is ensuring that they are safe.
Keep in mind, this is Virginia, where Loudoun County is, where that's
yeah.
where you actually had somebody get raped in the bathroom by
Yeah.
somebody using the wrong bathroom. And then the school tried to cover it up. And then when the dad went to complain, that's when they started labeling people domestic terrorists who were showing up to school board meetings and arguing against this. So, sorry, that's the alarm that I have to pick up my daughter in 10 minutes from school.
Well, we're
She
gonna
can walk.
wrap this up. I just you can take this down.
Okay.
So it is a big issue in Virginia.
It's a big issue. There's several cases. There's the case you mentioned where a boy was using in the girls' room and committed sexual assault. They tried to punish the dad of the girl. There's also the case of a girl who claimed to be a boy going into the boys' locker room and filming boys who were changing clothes, and then the school district punished the boys.
Punish the boys for complaining.
For complaining about it. And so you've got, I mean, it's just rife with this problem, and you could not hold her down to a yes or no on basic questions. Are you going to support Governor Youngkin's policy of keeping boys out of girls' rooms? Well, as a parent, my policy, it's like, just say what you
We
think.
need to keep kids safe by keeping them safe.
By keeping them safe.
That's what's important.
Well, I appreciate you guys being here today. I don't want this one to go on too long. I know we just kind of lightly touched the surface of this, but hopefully for people like me, who are just sort of loosely follow what's going on in other states and elections, hopefully this was helpful to know about these 3 key
The
races.
important important races that aren't national. Yeah.
Yes. Do you guys want to tell people what you have coming up and where they can find you?
Sure. I'll be on a Sin and Art tonight Mad will probably also be there. That is Little Chad and Slender Dad's channel and show. That Little Chad is the other co-host of the Bullpen. So we'll be there tonight. Sunday night, we do the Bullpen. Come check it out if you like the politics stuff.
The Bullpen is my favorite political show. I'm going to be there on Sunday night too.
Cool.
So it'll be fun.
And that is at 9 Central on Sundays. PM.
Thank you for reminding me.
I was having to convert it from my time zone to your time zone real quick in my
Thanks
mind.
for reminding me. I feel like I'm always like coming home from church. Like, what time is this happening? Okay. Mad. Anything else to add to that?
I mean, every Tuesday, 9:15 p.m. Central, we have a ridiculous show where we talk about American history, have a lot of fun, great stories. I mean, if you want to hear, and there's so many great ones that you can go back and listen to, whether it's dolphins getting, LSD and then living with a woman in a pool for a few weeks, that it goes weird. Yeah. A lot of great stories on the channel.
If it's something historical that's insane, we're covering.
Yeah, we're going to
Covering
cover it.
it.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that's at Matt's new channel. It's my new channel, guys.
Mad's new channel? I don't think that's the one I linked below.
Oh boy.
Here,
it's literally called Mad's new channel.
Oh, okay.
Look, I'm
The other one
I'm
kind
the
of burned down
talent.
to the ground.
I'm not the creative, come up with channel names guy. I was like, it's my new channel.
We did give him like 30 suggestions, and he just kept it at
Oh, I
Mad's
found
new channel.
it. Okay, and it's at Mad's new channel.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's where you can find it on YouTube. Cool. We'll drop it in the chat.
Appreciate it.
And it's a relatively new channel, so he needs the sub count. Let's get him up to monetization, and I could use the getting to 1,000. So go sub.
Go sub.
I'm not saying you have to watch us, but sub.
Go sub. Help these two channels. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for talking about this with me. I hope you have a happy Halloween and rest of your day. I got to go vote on some Texas amendments, early voting. If you're in Texas, get out there and vote. You can figure out there's a lot of amendments that have to do with the taxpayer. So go check them out.
And I think chat was arguing over whether you're Lucille Ball or Rosie the Riveter.
Well, technically, I wanted to be Lucille Ball, but I just grabbed what I have. I didn't buy anything other than the wig, so I don't really look like Lucille Ball, but that's what I'm going with. And and I told them beforehand my makeup does not look great in person, but I think it looks okay on camera.
Looks good on camera.
Yeah, I think it looks fine. I hope we're gonna have lots of kids. My favorite thing about living in this neighborhood is having lots of kids come by, dressed up, trick or treating. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm running the outro. Thank you guys.
All right. Later, everybody.
Later.
Bye.